Alright, so this is kind of what I got in mind here. A buddy of mine messaged me earlier and he said that he wanted to make a trailer big enough to haul two big size trucks on. I'm not going to give away his secret and what he wants to do with them, but you kind of get the idea here. He wants a big flatbed trailer. And I was going to turn him on to some other guys that make, do a really, really great job on making stuff like this. And then this idea just kind of struck me. So basically what I've decided to do here is, let me come in here where you can see what's going on. I've got two like Tonka fire truck trailers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to splice them together here. Then I'm going to spot weld them back together. Put a little bit of bracketry in there and all that good stuff. I think I'm going to go ahead and make it a 3-axle. I'm going to use the smaller wheels. I'm going to make it a 3-axle trailer here. And back here, I'm going to cut these fenders about right there. I'm going to straighten that out and just kind of bend them down just a little bit to make it look like two little, whatever you call it. So you can make little short ramps and you can drive your two trucks up on here. This will be gone. You'll have a nice flat deck. You can pop these rivets out, take this all off and paint it. Paint the trailer and polish these up, put them all back on with new rivets and everything. And it'll be a nice gooseneck. I was thinking I'll probably take the pin and move it forward. And that way he can make a double axle semi to haul it with. This is just an old junk truck that I had laying around. I'm actually going to be doing a build on this truck later on. And you might be really surprised at what I have in store for this. Now, make sure you stay tuned and subscribe and like and follow so that you'll see what I got going on with this. But for today, we're just going to use it for this here. So let's get started. I'm going to get my square here. And really, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it on here. You can see that. I'm going to lay that on there like that. I know it's going to be a nice even cut, so I got it laid on there. And I'm just going to go straight across. Something like that, if you can see my line. Handy dandy Jolson shears. And I'm going to cut on the back side of the line like this. Don't be afraid to hit it, fellas. You got to hit it. Come over here. And we're going to take the ball point, or the flat end. We're going to come right up here. And all that. Basically what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to bond all this together. Didn't mean to do that. So I'm going to put my handy dandy piece of metal in here. I'm going to get it lined up. Clamp it down. Now, I've never had this shock me. I'm going to hammer it right in here. Kind of help all that bond together, be more as one instead of just kind of floating around a little bit. So that should help it too. So let's do that. Now I got two nice pieces. Now I'm going to go over here and put these in my shear. And they're pretty close, 4 3/8. Yeah, it's pretty close on that. Here we are at the shear. Now I'm going to bend these long ways. You can also do this on your vise, but it's just a lot easier with that. The grinding wheel, I'm going to grind that head flat, and I'm going to drill it. Alright, so the plan is put these in here like so. some metal. Put it under there. So I got a lip, and I got a lip. So it kind of teeter-totters. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'll lay this up here, draw me a line. Cut it off. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run those spot welds all the way across that and try to fill in that seam quite as much as I can, and maybe I can grind it out. Maybe I can hide a lot of that seam. So let's see what we can do here. I'll let it cool. But you can see what is going on. I'm just going right down that seam. And it kind of bonds them two pieces of metal together. Since there's a flap in the back, I can do that. So I've made our little spot welds all the way across. It ain't perfect, but it looks pretty good. Now we'll clean it up and hammer it out. Then we'll come in and we'll do the ridges down there to strengthen it up even more. Let's go ahead and hit that thing with the hammer and let's get it all knocked out. Almost don't have a seam. I can probably get away with those. Well, maybe not. We'll go ahead and fix them. And I'll fix these, make them nice and smooth where you can't even see where it came together. I hope you can see that. Let me get around here. So this time I'm going to work from the top so I can see where my gap is. First, we're going to take our grinder and clean off any metal that's above the surface that we don't want. Safety first. Alright, so now we got it back on our bench. I'm just going to clean up these spot welds right here just a little bit. Yeah, can't hold even tell. We've got our angles welded in, and while I was off camera, you can see it here. I went ahead and put in some more right here in the corners. Just ground them down. Nothing different than what I've done up here. Just two little pieces right here just to help it, give it a lot more strength, man. And it is strong right here in this bend. And you can't really see the seam anymore. So I think it's time now to do test fit. Here's the piece that I've come up with. So this flap right here is this, and it's just bent up. And I cut the fenders off the back, made sure that was nice and straight. So now let's see what that does. We're going to put that in the front right here. And so now that we've got our ramp, we can drive up and just drive on up on there. And then when you bring this guy in, Now the part I'm going to try to work on is this gap right here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little piece of metal in behind this right here, and then I'm going to put a piece of metal to line up with this ridge right here on the outside so that it'll cover this up, and then I'll just trim it to match this contour, and it'll just be a little triangle right there. Then I'm going to take this little piece of metal and I'm going to put it in here, make it kind of butt up with this pretty decently, best I can, and then I'm just going to trim out the bottom. So that should be okay. Now I'm going to cut me another one for the other side. Put it on each side, and I'm going to spot weld it in there like this. I'm going to mark it where I want it. So we're going to say right there. Yeah. I went ahead and welded this part on, and that way you can see what we're doing here, kind of what we got in mind. All the wheels and stuff, it's just all mocked up. So what I've done here is I've cut my two little pieces of metal and I spliced them in with that piece in the back. Come in and I've spot welded it all along in here. Then I took my little grinder and I ground it all down and made it all nice and pretty and match. But I only done this side. And I spot welded it down here, cleaned it all up. I've not done this side yet. So I've done a lot of it, but I've not done all the cleaning up and everything like that. So, and I've not done a lot of this spot welding right here. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do a little bit of spot welding here and up here. Well, there she is on the back of the truck. She's got the axles all mounted and everything. The truck don't have a hitch or nothing in it. It's just sitting there with the trailer on it. And let's put our station wagons on there real quick. Let's see how it looks. We can drive this one up here. Comes right on up.